Welcome to Screen Talk with yours truly, Nomfanelo. Emilia Perez, the film that is keep getting talked about for the wrong reasons, I suppose, during award season. Now, I previously covered the Backlash. This was just after the Golden Globes. And it seems like it keeps on growing. And before I continue, I just want to say thank you to those that have seen that video. It has so far over 2,000 views. Those are greatly appreciated. And I've seen all the comments. And just after seeing those and reflecting on what's been transpiring, honestly, the backlash for this movie is deserved on so many fronts. Because even though, let's say, if there wasn't backlash, the movie is still terrible regardless for many reasons. But yeah, since Golden Globes, a lot has happened with this movie and not in a good way. So, where do I begin? So, not long after Golden Globes, co star Adriana Paz did this interview on IndieWire essentially defending the portrayal of Mexico and all that stuff in the film. She was saying that she, as a Mexican, didn't feel offended. And honestly, she's entitled to her opinion, but at the same time, just because she's not offended does not mean everybody else shares that same viewpoint. And then also too, what came up. So The Brutalist, which is another film that's in contention with awards. There was this whole AI controversy with that movie. I plan to do like a separate video on at some point. I think the larger conversation on AI is more important than the films itself, in my opinion. But anyway, so yeah, The Brutalist, yeah, there was this whole AI controversy with that movie. And then also too, Emilia Perez apparently used AI. Apparently both movies use the same company. And apparently for Emilia Perez, AI was used for some of the dialogue and for Carlos Sofia Gascon's vocal range, which honestly is an interesting choice. But yeah, like probably like when I do my takeaways from this award season, I'll probably discuss that topic further in terms of how it affected, the Oscars and all that stuff. So stay tuned for that video. And then also too, what I saw, the director Jacques Audiard, he was already getting flack for essentially making this movie, and then after people were essentially shared their frustrations with the movie, he did this interview, I believe was on CNN on Espanol, where essentially he apologized. I put apologize in quotes and all that stuff, but really it feels more like an exclamation because he was essentially saying, oh, this movie was meant to be an opera and all this stuff, but what does that have to do in terms of how the subject matter was portrayed on screen? But then, not long after the interview, the internet found this clip where he did this interview on Conbini, essentially saying Spanish is a language for poor people. I'm paraphrasing, but that was essentially said. And honestly, that's just disrespectful to say. And especially given by someone who's not really qualified to do this movie. So shame on him, shame on him. But you think that would be the last of it, but Carlos Sofia Gascon, man, oh man, oh man, where to begin with her? So I think this was like when like the movie was out on Netflix a few months ago. People, shared their complaints about the movie online, and apparently Carlish would block people on social media that criticize the movie. Essentially, she perceives the criticism as hate. Oh, it's targeting her because she's trans and all that stuff, which is just ridiculous. And then I think she did an interview. I forgot what outlet, where essentially she was saying, "Oh, if you don't like the movie, go make your own." Which brings me up to apparently I saw a few days ago there was this a short film that came out. I'm blanking on the title. Essentially, does like a parody of Emilia Perez, where instead of where essentially it's Mexicans portraying French people in the movie. It was enjoyable with that short film. That was a delight to see, and many people are praising that short film. So that was just fun to see. But yeah, back to Carla Sofia Gascon, and like the last couple of days, man, man, oh man, oh man. So what happened with Carla is that apparently these tweets, a series of tweets came out that are very racist, disgusting, all that stuff. Essentially, they've like disrespected pretty much every marginalized community or group. And including one of those tweets, she essentially offended the Academy. This was during the pandemic year when Daniel Kaluuya won for Judas and the Black Messiah. Was it Nomadland was the big winner that year. The stuff she said there was just awful. And also, too, wow, one of the tweets had where she's called Selena Gomez, her co star in the movie, a rich rat. I'm like, that's insane. Now, I don't know, like, the specific date for that one off the top of my head. But I'm wondering though, did she tweet that before or after meeting Selena? I mean, it's terrible regardless, but if she tweeted that after meeting her, oh man, that is not good. But again, regardless, either way, it's just terrible. So of course that gained traction because I believe a journalist uncovered those tweets, which became viral. I saw that on my birthday when people were talking about that. Honestly, I was just shocked. But how she responded, honestly, I was not shocked just based on how people were describing her online. So essentially, what happened, she gave her first statement, where honestly it was such a BS statement where she was saying stuff like, oh, light will always triumph over darkness. I'm like, really? And when that got worse, she did another statement. I think this was published either on Variety or The Hollywood Reporter, where she deleted her account and essentially was saying that this is like a whole hate and misinformation campaign. How can this be a misinformation campaign when that was you tweeting that stuff? That does not make sense. And then I saw what on Saturday she made this IG post on Instagram since she was saying, I'm not racist, I have a Muslim friend and all that stuff. I'm like, no. Like all of like those statements just were very tone deaf, honestly, and shows that she does not want to take any accountability, wants to blame things on everybody else essentially but herself. And the worst part of this stuff, she did this interview. A lot of outlets are saying unauthorized interview because apparently Netflix or PR team was not behind this. So she on her own did this interview on CNN on Espanol. I tried to watch it with subtitles, and honestly, I could not get through it because it was just like the same excuses she made with her previous statements, and then with the whole fake crocodile tears, I just could not watch anymore. But I was able to find article from the Hollywood Reporter that talks about this. I'll share. So essentially, yeah, she breaks down repeatedly an hour long TV interview saying, I'm not racist. So essentially, she was saying the same things that she said previously. At one point, she says, I cannot renounce a nomination because what I have done is a job and what is being valued is my acting work. And I cannot renounce a nomination either because I have not committed any crime nor have I harmed anyone. I am not a racist nor I am anything that all these people have taken it upon themselves to try to make others believe that I am. Honestly, like this whole stuff is just ridiculous. Oh my goodness. And then yeah, it goes on and to describe what has happened and all that stuff. Trying to find anything here of note. It's just recapping the tweets. She says it's funny that, oh, the screenshots of the tweets were taken out of context, misinterpreted. But I'm like, how can that be when those were her words, and they showed what the Google Translate, or is she saying Google Translate is wrong? I don't know here. And then when it came to the Selena Gomez tweet, she says, "Of course that's not mine. I have never said anything about my partner. I would have never referred to her that way." Saying, and then the actress, she has the alleged false tweet was part of a targeted campaign against her. I start thinking about where this is coming from. On that's just terrible excuse. Like, just own up to that. Like, I don't get her strategy here, to be honest, because we see plain as day this was from her account, verified, and all that stuff. It's just terrible, terrible. Like I said, it just seemed like she's not taking any accountability here. Oh, I want to share this final note. Apparently, like, when asked about, is winning like the Oscar priority and all that stuff, she says, "I don't give a damn about awards. What I do care about is the people that I represent because of what I represent in this world. As a transgender trailblazer, we can all change and be better people in this world." Oh my lord. But it's so funny. She says she doesn't care, but yet does not want to rescind her nomination. How does that make sense? It does not. So, yeah, that's all that with the controversy surrounding this movie so far. I mean, for Netflix' sake, there better not be anything else that's coming out that has not been made public. Because I bet right now Netflix, they're in the war room trying to strategize like what to do moving forward. I mean, that is the question. What's going to happen next moving forward with award season? Because I saw Zoe Saldana made a statement essentially saying she is sad, that Carla said all that stuff, and then at the same time, essentially, she was saying, "Oh, please, like, vote for the movie, vote for me," and all that stuff. She didn't say those exact words, but that was the sentiment of her statement. So, if I were to guess how Netflix and the Emilia Perez team is going to go about this moving forward, they're essentially going to try to avoid talking about Carla. Well, they'll probably say, probably in some award show coming up, let's say if they were to win anything, they'll probably say, "Oh, we don't agree with Carla's comments, the tweets, and all this stuff, but please consider us, blah, 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 blah," something to that effect, if I were to guess. But yeah, but good luck to them trying to navigate that, because regardless how they try to spin this, it just has been tainted. And with all like the other stuff that came out previously, I'm sure like it give voters more validation to not pick this movie for any category regardless. So, so yeah, the main question is what's going to happen next. So, we have Critics' Choice Awards coming up on February 7th. So, the voting for that already finished some time ago. So probably if, let's say, Zoe Saldana or anyone else, wins something there, I think they'll use that moment to do this whole big speech, probably celebrating diversity, celebrating the themes of the movie and all that stuff. Also, too, what's coming up apparently. With Carla Sofia Gascon, she is still scheduled, as of the time of the recording, to receive a Virtuoso Award at the Santa Barbara Film Festival on February 9th. I mean, I imagine with all this stuff going on, they should probably cancel that, because it'll be very awkward after all this stuff coming out that she's still receiving that award. I don't know. I don't know. And we have BAFTAs that's coming up on February 16th. Because when I checked on the website, it said that voting happened just not long after the nominations came out. I don't know if those have closed or if it's still ongoing. But we'll see how this unfolds there. Also, too, we have the Screen Actors Guild Awards later this month. Voting is still happening for that, which closes on February 21st. we'll see what happens there. But the main thing is Oscars. So with the Oscars, voting has not opened yet. Apparently, they start voting on February 11th. And there has been talk on whether her nomination should be rescinded and all that stuff. Honestly, if I were a member, if I were to have a say in all this stuff, it should be rescinded after all this stuff. Because honestly, it's despicable, disgusting with all that stuff, and how she's handling this after that stuff. It's just embarrassing and terrible. So that's how I feel about that stuff. I don't know what the official rules are and all that stuff. So we'll see. Oh, and also, which reminds me, apparently there was something happening with Fernanda Torres. Apparently, she claimed that Fernanda Torres' team said something bad about her, which apparently was not true, and all that stuff. And there were talk on whether the Oscars should rescind her award for that reason. So I'm not too sure what's happening on that front, but I do think with the Academy they have to address this because this has moved beyond just online stuff. They have to address this because if they don't say anything or if they don't act on this quickly, then there's going to be backlash towards the Oscars for that front. So yeah, that's essentially my thoughts on all this stuff. And but also too, I wonder with Carla Sofia Gus, is she's going to be able to attend these upcoming events? Honestly, I doubt it. I doubt it because even though like she makes her numerous statements and all that stuff, I don't think people want to be associated or near her like just based off the responses. So yeah, like good luck overcoming that. This is yeah. So that's my thoughts on all this stuff. So I want to know, what do you guys think about this? I mean, do you agree that it's deserved with all this backlash? What's going to happen to this film moving forward? What's going to happen to Carla Sofia Gascon after all this stuff? I mean, I think her chances of winning are essentially over. I mean, I didn't think she was going to win in the first place, to be honest. But with this, she's done. She's done, in my opinion. So let me know in the comment section what you guys think about all this stuff. And if you want to support me, you could visit my Buy Me a Coffee link, which is buymeacoffee.com/Nomfanelo. You could do either a one-time or monthly payment. Also, too, if you want to follow me on social media, my links are in the description. I want to say thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to catch you on the next one.